Shares of Teva jumping today. Gabelli Research raised the stock to a buy on news of a potential opioid settlement. We've made it our call today. Stock we don't talk about all that often. There it is, up 7%. Their target is 18. Mr. Weiss.
Wow. Yeah, look, I went through the report. It's based upon an opioid settlement, which then will leave you back with the fundamentals and back into an election year with both sides going against health care. Teva's, just not done well. It was the stock of all the darlings if you go back 5 years. It's a long time since then. If I'm going to own health care, I'm going to own Pharma. I'm going to own one of the big ones that I know you own some of.
Merck.
Pete owns Pfizer. You own Pfizer.
Pfizer, Merck,
Pfizer,
Bristol
and Merck.
Myers.
Yep. Yeah, I just don't. Look, I don't blame from bottom fishing, and maybe it's the bottom, but I also like something that's got a little more juice to it and much better execution.
And they're trading off the estimates of what that might come out of it. Of this. And I think that's pretty dangerous territory because that could really swing either way, Scott. And it could either be very favorable for them, which is unlikely, or it could get a whole lot worse. So I do agree with Steve. That's why I'm in the names that I'm in, which are the big pharma names, great pipelines, and I think they continue to deliver.
Yeah, to me, this looks like a value trap. It looks so cheap if you look at their future earnings, and then you take a little bit deeper dive, and I'm like, you know what, even for me who loves a nice value stock, I'm not getting into this because there's too much political risk. There's too much, frankly, behavior risk. Just as a quick aside, Bill Miller was down in Maryland this week at this Next Generation Investing in Baltimore conference, and this was one of his top picks. So, could be wrong.
Teva was.
Yeah, Teva was.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What was their basis for it? Why did they?
I think it was mostly on valuation. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say, look, I hate this space, pharma and biotech right now because of the political risk. It's just too great for me. Teva should actually outperform relatively because so much of their business is generics, which should find a benefit in price control. But still, I think it's going to get tarred and feathered with the rest of the sector. I'm not in it.
But even before the opioid issue.
I don't care about the. I mean,
Well,
from this stock position, I don't.
With generics, this company still didn't perform. Generics are very.
Yes.
Well, on that,
yes.
Yeah. And to that end, we used to own Mylan and actually sold it in March, and it's down a tremendous amount from there. So we just think there's way too much. If you look at it just as a generics, we think there's way too much pricing pressure there alone.
We've finally started to see some activity come in on the November 8 calls, Scott. But it's not huge. It's like 8,000 contracts, which is pretty good,
right.
But it hasn't built from there.